Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at Deluxe Class Autobot Hot Rod from Transformers Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventures. So this is another in the Build-A-Figure for McAdam. As you can see, we're going to get his other leg so he can finally stand up. I'm very excited. Here's a nice picture of McAdam on the side once we finally have all of the Build-A-Figure pieces for him. Nice Autobot group shot on this side. Not too much going on the top or bottom. Then if we spin around to the back, you can see Hot Rod's robot mode, the vehicle mode. I love the vehicle mode. I think it looks so sleek. I like how it's kind of strangely boxy and stylized. Very, very cool. So at this point, as far as the Build-A-Figure pieces go, we just need RC and Thunder Howl. Really interested about Thunder Howl because he's a brand new character. Obviously, we're familiar with a lot of these other characters throughout all the iterations of Transformers, but Thunder Howl is brand new, and he's going to give us McAdam's head, so definitely excited to check him out. Pictures I've seen so far look really, really cool. But yeah, that's going to pretty much do it for the packaging here, so I'm going to go ahead and get Hot Rod out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here is Hot Rod out of the packaging. I think he looks pretty good. I think he's definitely missing some paint applications, though. I think he's just an overabundance of red. Like, I'm kind of bummed that the spoiler here on the back is red. You can see that it's actually two spoilers. It's not the same spoiler in both robot and vehicle mode. This should be painted yellow, but we'll get there when we get to the car mode. The other thing that really bums me right off the bat is these giant panels right here on the arms. I feel like they could have done something. Like, I like having the smokestacks here, but then maybe just have the panel, like, right here bend. Maybe just have like a small hinge there and then just have it just bend 90 degrees and lay flat against the, bottom of the forearm. Even if it like completely boxed in his fist. I feel like I would have rather had that than just have this giant panel just hanging out. Like, it really makes his forearm look super thin and dinky. Like I said, I really like having the smokestacks there. I just kind of wish you could like bend it there just so that it only looked like that on the side, but the other thing is you really notice, like with the wheels, how the outside, the paint looks great, but you can see it's just a piece of red plastic painted on the outside, not molded in. It just seems like they really didn't want to mold anything in a color other than red or this light gray. Like the toes, the fists, and then these inner shoulder joint mechanisms are that same kind of light gray color, and everything else is molded in red and then painted. So I don't know. I don't know why they seem to get so lazy with this guy. I feel like if this was molded in this orange, even if they wanted to do the same color orange or yellow, whatever color they chose for the, thighs here and then this the same color, I feel like that would have really benefited. Whether they wanted to choose orange or yellow, I would have been fine with either, quite honestly. But they should have molded this piece. Basically, the entire thigh should have been molded in this color plastic, and these two spoiler pieces should have been molded in that color plastic. And I would have liked the wheels to have been molded in black. I could have even done without, even if they didn't want to paint them at all, just mold them in black and leave out the blue ring. I would have been fine with that as well. I don't know, just a couple of really weird choices with what they went with. But I don't really mind the backpack so much. I don't think that's a problem. Just the fact that they just got lazy and molded everything out of red plastic, I think is really weird. Because then when they did the paint applications, you can see they're like half done. Like, this entire thigh should be painted. Also, why is the top of his thigh at the waist not painted? That doesn't make any sense. And the wheel, it looks really lazily like we painted the outer part because that's all you'll see when he's a car. But then in the robot mode, you just see the big red wheel. I don't know. I like the paint here on the shin. I think that looks good. The paint on the chest looks good. The head looks really good. Did a really nice job with the face. That's nicely painted. The blue eyes, all really well done. So some things they did really well, and other things I feel like they just really phoned it in. It's just weird to me, because as much paint as Grimlock has, I feel the complete opposite for Hot Rod. And maybe that's why. Maybe because these two are coming out at the same time, one kind of had to feel the brunt of it. Or maybe it's because, he comes with the full McAdam leg, and so that took away from the overall budget of this figure. I don't know, but it's definitely a weird choice. But let's go ahead, we'll get into the articulation. So head is on the ball joint, side to side, very limited front to back, but there is a little bit. You have a ball joint here in the shoulder. These shoulder pieces kind of go up for the transformation. When he first came out of the box, I thought it was stuck like this, and I was really bummed. And it's very tight, but you can get that shoulder to bend down, and it's really night and day, because otherwise it would be the shoulders would be way too close to his head. But you have a nice range of motion there with that ball joint. You have a swivel here. You have another ball joint at the elbow. The wrists do swivel. Well, you do actually have waist articulation. You have that ball joint in the hip. You have the thigh swivel. Oop, okay. Apparently that just, I don't know what it is with my guys and their hips and their thigh swivels, but it does move around just a little tight. You have pretty much 90 degrees there in the knee, and then you have some front to back ankle for the transformation, but also you have that tilt, which is really nice. So overall, I like the look of them. I really do. Overall, I do like the robot mode. I think it's probably the best robot mode for a hot rod we've seen. The Warrior class, I feel like the Warrior class 1 had more color to it though, because they definitely had the different colored spoiler on the back and some other things. But overall, I think as far as articulation and look of the robot mode, I think this one's the best. But like I said, just these long panels on the forearm and just having a couple things molded out of different colored plastic. I know you don't want to paint everything, and that's fine. But if they just had the thighs and the spoilers molded out of either orange or yellow, take your pick. I could even forgive the wheels. The wheels bother me, but not as much. But I would have easily traded just having the wheels molded out of one solid black color with no paint than this weird amount of paint. I don't know. It just seems like they really didn't want to mold out of more than 2 colors of plastic. It's very strange. Although I feel like this neck piece has got to be molded in a black color plastic. So they could use the same color of that for the wheels. And also the wheels are different thicknesses. You can see these are thinner than these down here. So yeah, I don't know. Again, overall, I like them, but there are definitely a few things I would change. But let's go ahead, we'll get into the transformation. So the transformation is actually fairly simple. You're just going to start by pulling this whole backpack piece out, flipping this top piece out like so. This is going to kind of spin around and then push in a little bit, and then you're just going to fold these away inside, and they just hide in there, which is another reason why I feel like they could have been another colored plastic and it wouldn't have mattered, because they completely hide in the vehicle mode. So now you're just going to bring this all back up. This will tuck over top of his head. Now just be careful, because there is like a little hanging tab there which goes over his head, so make sure it does clear. And then you can see that there are tiny little tabs right there, which are going to tab into these little spots as you pop this up. And then make sure that the arms are straight down, so that when these go up, you can see it's going to form very boxy. But that's it. That's pretty much the whole front of the car, as you can see. Pretty simple. You're going to make sure these aren't tilted anymore. Tab the legs together. Straighten them out. And then it's actually going to, probably at about the knee, it just goes into the bottom part of the leg. So you just push it in. And then this just kind of all closes up. And you just make sure everything lines up here. Like so. And then you're just going to flip the toes up like that. That's it. That's really it. That is the transformation. Like I said, very simple. And again, he just feels too red. It's just too much red. I don't know what it is. I know Hot Rod normally has a lot of red. But like I said, that little bit of yellow back here would have really broken it up. Or orange, whatever. Just something that's not red. Some pop of color there. Also the fact that it kind of like stops. Like usually the spoiler is the big thing on the back. But because it's so tiny here, and you just see the feet hanging off, I don't know. It's just a little lackluster. I do really like the smokestacks on the side. Oh, and I forgot to show off. Where are they? He's got these flame effects, which I forgot to show off. But how it works is you have these 2 pegs, and there is a peg spot. It's kind of deep in there. It's hard to see it, but you can see there's tiny little indentations in between the smokestacks. So you peg this in like so, and it just clips on. And I'm probably not doing this correctly, but I promise it does peg in there. There you go. And that's kind of cool. It actually looks like they're shooting fire around the wheels. There's one for each side. So I think that's pretty cool. You can also clip them in the exact same spot in robot mode to make it look like he's shooting fire out at enemies from the smokestacks. They clip to the exact same place. And I can show that off later, but I think that's kind of cool. I like that effect. It looks like it's shooting out around the wheels, and it's kind of stylized and angled up to meet the contour of the back of the car. So I do like that. I appreciate that. I overall like the design of the car. I think the boxy nature of it is very cool. And the paint apps that you do get are nice. I just really wish he had a few more. That's really my biggest complaint with Hot Rod is he needs more paint. He's just too much red. Rolls fairly decently though. But yeah, ultimately I really do like the design of the car. And there's not much to this, but here is the macadam leg that we got in this, so we can go ahead and pop this on to our already existing macadam pieces. There you go. Nice loud snap. Let me zoom out there. So we're making progress. We have 2 legs now. He can actually stand, so I appreciate that. We're getting there. At this point, he's got ball joint in the hip, ball joint in the knee. From the knee down is one solid piece. And then he's got a torso ball joint. So we also have 2 forearms, but there's nothing for them to connect to yet. It's like Andros and Star Fox. I'm coming for you. Woo, just flying around. Anyway, so we should get the shoulders and biceps with RC, and then the head with Thunder Howl, Thunder Hoof, Thunder Howl. Let me check the box because now I'm forgetting his name. Thunder Howl. There we go. But yes, we have. At least he can stand now. He's taken shape, if nothing else. Give him 2 super stubby little arms. I would totally do that if I could, but the problem is that the elbow joints are smaller ball joints, so they will not connect. Otherwise, I would just do that because I think that's hysterical. These little T-Rex arms. But it will not connect. Could give him one giant forearm head, though. No, doesn't work either. Either way, he's coming along. I like the body so far. And this has some decent paint applications, so I'm happy about that. So at the end of the day, I like Hot Rod. I do. I think he's probably the best Cyberverse Hot Rod we've gotten so far. Certainly in terms of transformation and articulation. He just really needs paint. Either paint or have a couple pieces molded in a different color plastic. Whatever Hasbro deems cheaper, I'd be fine with either. He needs something to break up all the red. He's just too much red. I wanted to show off real quick because I did mention that you can attach these in robot mode. So I wanted to show that off so that it looks like he's firing the flames as a weapon. So there you go. Attaches in exactly the same place. Just wanted to show that off. But yeah, I really do. I like the robot mode. Articulation's great. He just needs more paint. It's just a shame because, like I said, Grimlock has so much paint, and he looks great because of it. And someone who knows how to paint figures could probably get a hold of this and really fix it and make it look amazing. And I hope someone does, because I would like to see that. I just noticed that there's a peg on here. I'm guessing this would attach to that. Yeah. Nope, maybe not. I think it should. Yeah, it does. It just doesn't hold very well. Maybe like a blast effect or something. Kind of like how Siege has those pegs around. But yeah, ultimately, I think he looks good. He just needs some paint applications. So, customizers out there, paint them up. Send me pics. I want to see what you guys can do. Because it's a good base figure. I really do think it's a good base figure. The figure-wise, only thing I would change is I would put a little hinge. And they probably didn't because they figured it's too brittle. I'm sure there's some kind of engineering reason why they can't just have that piece fold. They probably figured it would break over time or something like that. I don't know. I really wish that there wasn't, just stop about there. It would look better. But overall, I still think he's fun. If you're collecting all of these for the macadam Build-A-Figs, I don't think you'll be supremely disappointed. It just felt like the first couple, Prime was so good. Well, I mean, let's take a look for a second. Let's investigate this. Megatron was kind of meh. I really do think Prime and Soundwave and Bumblebee were all really good in terms of articulation, paint applications, all that. Megatron, I just didn't love his transformation that much, but he still looks good as a robot. I don't know, Hot Rod and Bumblebee, Hot Rod and Grimlock. Now, see, it's kind of the opposite, because Grimlock, I loved the robot mode, didn't really like his alt mode. I like both modes for Hot Rod. Probably like the car mode more, though. I don't know. And anyway, I'm rambling at this point. I think he's fine. He just needs more paint or more color in general, whether it's different colored plastic or paint applications. That's going to do it for this one. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thank you so much for watching.